Alright, so today we're going to be talking about cards that you should be selling before the Megatin reprints. And I already mentioned a couple of those cards in previous videos, but today I just want to go over some of them once more because it's really important for you to get rid of them because they are probably gonna get a reprint. And by the end of watching this video, if you have any of your own ideas, make sure to share them in the comments down below so the people know what to sell. And if you like my videos overall, just on the topic of market and budget and all of that, make sure to like it as well so I know that you like the content. We're not getting confirmed reprints of these particular cards, but the sets are confirmed. So in my opinion, they're gonna reprint all of these cards because they want to push the tins with some of the sought after product. So yeah, the first card on the list that's, in my opinion, almost 100% getting a reprint in the tins is the Bestial Lobelion. Now, I got Lobelion, I didn't sell it, I got it because we want to play dragons and we like the older print. And that just goes to show that I'm sure you can find someone that's willing to pay 50 or 50 plus euros for a card that they really want in case they want to play dragons right now. So I would sell it if you don't care about the printing. Like I said, it's probably getting a reprint, but dragons are just so popular right now. It's a really, really good deck. Obviously it won Worlds as well, which in my opinion doesn't have any kind of impact on the ban list. So I'm sure you can find someone that just wants to play dragons and is gonna take the Lobelion off of your hands. And yeah, I think that would be the move to go for right now if you want to get rid of it. And the next one is going to be Cartesia, and that's part of the branded deck obviously, which is also another good deck in the meta. And ever since its release in Darkwing Blast, Cartesia literally went up double in price and more. Now it's not only like it was 15 at the beginning, then it was 30, so double in price, and now it's like 37 or almost 40. So it's almost an absurd price for a card you have to play two of in the deck. That's not even like the main piece, it's just a really nice piece of support. But still, it is a little too expensive, I think. But if you find someone that's willing to pay the money for it, I'm sure you would be better off selling the card, especially because branded is always in this kind of weird space in the meta. So if you don't have any kind of aspiration to play branded, I would get rid of Cartesia right now because I'm sure it's gonna get a reprint. And speaking of Darkwing Blast, we also have Fenrir. Now Fenrir is kind of weird because it is probably getting a reprint, but if they don't give it a reprint, it's going to go up in price and it's going to be kind of absurd because in my opinion, it's not getting hit on the ban list. So there's two options and you need to decide for yourself. You can either get rid of it and then it gets a reprint in the tins and you can pick up a couple very cool looking copies for half the price, or if it doesn't get a reprint and doesn't get hit, it's gonna be at an insane price point and then you're gonna feel bad about selling it. So you really need to make the choice. But I don't think it's in their interest to make it so the price like goes sky high, and it's just it doesn't really make sense because it sees play in Vanquish Soul and like many different decks as a tech card or as a package with race does. So in my opinion, they're just gonna reprint it and not hit it. If anything, it goes to 1 and you can still get a copy, you know, for fairly cheap. So I would personally sell it, but yeah, you need to decide for yourself. The next couple of cards are just going to be Labyrinth cards because Tactical Masters is obviously getting a reprint and the Labyrinth cards were quite expensive if you look at like Welcome Labyrinth, but that got a reprint in the Monsters Revenge set. So that's great. But now Ariana and the lady from Darkwing Blast are still kind of at a price point. You know, Ariana is like 30 plus euros. Lady from Darkwing Blast is like 17, 18. And both of the sets are getting reprints. So I would get rid of the Labyrinth cards, especially because the deck probably isn't going to be hit much. I'm personally certain they're not gonna go after the engine. If anything, maybe a Floodgate, you know, fingers crossed, gets hit, or like Eradicator, again, fingers crossed. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But in my opinion, they're not gonna go after the engine. It could happen though, because once they reprint it and they sell enough, you know, the deck might get hit. But by that point, you probably already sold all your copies because you listened to this video. So I would get rid of the copies. If the deck gets hit, you're just gonna make some money right now and you won't feel bad about investing in the deck. So yeah, I would get rid of especially Ariana, which is really like 30 plus euros. And then the next card, I always mention it, I'm just going to be very, very brief, is the Flunder Quick Play Spell card. They will put it in the tins. Please get rid of it because it's free 45 to 50 euros if you sell three copies. So please just get rid of it. And if you're really desperately trying to play Flunder in the fall, you can just get it as a reprint. Another one that's probably getting a reprint, in my opinion, is going to be Illusion of Chaos. Now, this one is from Battle of Chaos, and the package with Magician Souls and the Illusion is kind of neat, you know, and we have some pile decks right now, and overall, that's just a cool engine to keep on hand. So people will probably get it once the reprint comes, but if you convince someone right now to get the Illusion of Chaos from you, props to you. I will get rid of it 100%. And then talking about another deck that's going to be really nice, at least in my opinion, is Vanadium. Now, it's kind of weird because we don't really know what happens. It seems like a worse combo deck than something like Dragon Link and might struggle with going second, but still doesn't seem bad at all because it has many different busted combos, you know, with the likes of Crimson Dragon and the lock and all of that, the Calamity lock. But yeah, other than that, it just feels like it's going to be a decent deck at the very least. So this brings us to Visa Starfrost, and I think the price point is almost the same between the Ultra Rare and the Secret, which I'm still not certain why they printed both copies in one set. That's just beyond me, but you know, we have two copies for about 24 to 26 euros. So I would get rid of it because if anything, the Starfrost is gonna get a reprint in the tins. So please just get rid of all the copies because it's kind of insane that it's like around 30 euros literally. It's still less than Aluber, when Aluber was like the sought after main deck monster. But Visas is not that far behind, and I would personally sell it. I think they're gonna give it a reprint. And on the topic of Vanadium, another card that you might want to get rid of if you want is the Scareclaw Rightheart. It's not that expensive. It's around 7 or 8 euros. But if you want to make some money and just get rid of these copies right now, and you can like throw in a couple copies of the Field Spell in the package, in the deal, and just get rid of it, I think that's going to be great for you because like if you don't need it right now, you can just get it later because it's going to be insanely cheap once it gets a reprint, and then you can play Vanadium for a little less money if you want. So yeah, the next couple of decks, we only have two more decks, or engines I should say, to cover, and it's going to be Exosister and also Runic. So I just wanted to include Exosister as like a whole package in this video. You might want to get rid of Pox and also Michaelis. Pox is around 7 to 9 euros, and then Michaelis is around 5 to 6. So if you have an Exosister core that you don't want to use, or you want to get it later and don't care about the rarities, I would just throw everything together and just get rid of it because you're gonna get some money for it. And I don't personally think Exosister is like the strongest choice right now. I think it just really depends on the player and the event specifically, what you're expecting. So it's not a deck that I would necessarily like put at the top, you know, of the tier list, you could say. So if you want to get rid of it and make some money, I think that's not a bad choice. Another one is the Runic. Now this one is 100% getting a reprint, and it might even get hit. So these are literally two reasons for you to get rid of your Runic engine. And the tip is still around 20 euros. And if you ask me, tip is getting hit. I think it's because it's a searcher and it's like the best one out of all of them, and Fountain is at 2 already. Also Fountain, it's around 8 to 9 euros, I think, so you can get rid of Fountain as well. And then throw in a couple copies of Hugin, and you get like around 20 euros for all of them, I think. Yeah, like you get where I'm going with this. Just get rid of the entire engine because I think it's getting hit. And if it's not, it's 100% getting a reprint that you can make great use of if you want in the fall. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for all of the decks and the sets and cards. So hopefully I gave you a couple ideas. If you flip through your binder, find a couple of these cards, just get rid of them and get them later in the year. And yeah, like I said before, if you like me doing these types of videos, make sure to like it and share all your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.